Jason Carl. Jason Carl. Jason Carl.
Let's tell a vampire story.
Hi, family. We here at McStabber Studios take the emotional well-being of our viewers very seriously. And due to the personal horror nature of Vampire the Masquerade, some of the content of our streams could cause some strong emotional responses. If you feel like that has happened to you during any of our streams, take a moment, take a break, mute the stream, or just skip an episode. Or if you decide that you want to sit through it and watch it, we are available in chat to talk you through it if you need that. Ultimately, we want you to take care of yourself. Do what you feel like you need. Thank you for joining us on this dark journey, and we hope you enjoy this episode of DC by Night, Vengeance Waits.
Good evening, and welcome to a very special DC by Night vignette. This is a Friday night vignette, and it's also special because it actually has 4 guest players, 2 Coterie members, and of course, myself, Shanky McStabber. The purpose of this one was to celebrate the performance that True Death gives to the city of DC, and also to allow all the various guest members to have a chance to meet each other so that going forward, we can actually have more stories of just the guests in the vignettes and how they work together. I hope you enjoy tonight's episode, and I will see you Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern with special guest Minta, who will be returning to reprise her role, of course, as Yekaterina. And please enjoy. Good evening, everyone. To set the scene tonight, this is the night of the performance of the Ventrue True Death at the Succubus Club. Now, when this scene is going to start, the performance will have just ended, and I will go into a description of the performance and who all attended. But first, let's do some introductions. I am, of course, the storyteller, Shanky McStabber.
And I'm Relyn, Shanky's wife, and I'm playing Lily Sanger, Primogen of Clan Toreador.
Start with Don. Go ahead.
I'm Don, playing True Death, the Ventrue performer.
I'm going to go how I see him on the screen. So we'll go left to right around the top. So next would be Minta.
Down.
On my screen.
So I am Minta Krekami, and I play Ekaterina Baranova, a foreigner who came from Europe. Ventrue as well.
The Ventrue. Mm-hmm. And now, Natalie.
Hi, I am Michelle, and I play Natalie Bertrand, the Toreador.
That leaves Jack next, and then finally...
I'm Demetrius, and I play Jack.
And then the last individual.
Hello, I'm Lance. I play Steve Perry, Primogen of the Clanless in DC.
Okay, so to finish setting up, the performance tonight went actually amazing. It is going to go down in the books. For those who could have attended it, of course, in the books is one of the best performances put on in DC in a while. Of course, True Death is noted for the quality of his performances, so it'll go down as one of his best performances as well. It was a whopping amount of successes on his performance role. I mean, it was stunning.
15.
Yeah.
Nice!
Added because of the bonus fame dice and everything that went with it.
That's fantastic.
So
that's the kind of show Lily likes to have. Yeah.
Where we're starting, the performance has just ended. Okay. Of course, the VIP section was even more restricted than usual tonight. The VIP section, Lily had pretty much locked down to the members of the Kindred Society in the area. Now, of course, we have all the players here, but we also have a number that couldn't attend to play with us tonight. Locke is there, Quartermain is there, Dr. Philo, Sabrina. Really, essentially, all of the core cast and guests, along with the various SPCs of the city. It's a who's who of everybody, with the exception of there is no Stanford Warwick who showed up tonight. No Felix. Felix LaRue did not show up. Nor did he send a representative. Razor, you hope, hasn't showed up.
Yeah.
And no Malik, of course, because...
Is Art here?
Yes, Art is here, of course. Though Art is not hanging on the VIP, Art has moved himself to the catwalk tonight and is watching from the catwalk.
That's not allowed.
Can you stop Art from going on the catwalk?
This is going to be a problem. This is going to be a big fucking problem.
Because
Lovely.
it's Art. Are you going to stop the sheriff?
My fucking domain.
And he is sheriff. And he is claimed as sheriff. He will stand from the catwalk and make sure that nothing masquerade breaking occurs when you have a gathering
Did
of
he
this many
ask my
kindred.
permission first?
No, he told you he was going to do that. Because he feels that as sheriff, he is going to watch to ensure no masquerade breaches happen when you have this many kindred in a single location with Kine at the club as well.
Yeah, that was my concern.
And he proceeded to put himself in a position to make sure he can watch everything. And as sheriff, he has the right to declare that in your domain.
I'm aware of that. However, that was exceptionally rude.
Victoria, oddly enough, did not show up tonight.
Okay.
That you know of.
Okay.
It's Victoria. And Esmeralda did not show up.
Did Chaz?
Yes.
Okay.
The rest of the kindred of DC are here. So I'm going to let...
Oh, wow. All of them.
It's a packed house.
Nice. Okay.
And that is why the purpose of this is really a chance for... This would be the first chance all the guest players in the coterie and all the other kindred of DC are in the same room, which is going to open up story potential in the future for everyone. Now, I'm going to, of course, turn this over to the players right now because I'm sure there's... Lily's going to probably want to introduce people to each other, the ones that Lily knows. Because of the ones here, Lily has met most of them. Trying to think of which ones you might not have met. Actually, I think Lily has met all of them. So Lily and Steve are the common bond of who knows and has met the rest of the people here.
Okay.
So
They keep invading your club.
I know.
True actually hands Steve a package.
Ah, thank you.
It is a little special sauce blood.
And for anybody in particular?
Just for you, sir. Just have a happy evening.
Oh, thank you.
yeah, he won't be. Steve is deliberately avoiding feeding right now.
That's right. I may have to save this for a bit.
And I will say, True Def, I do have the results of your blood investigation roll, but we won't be using this here. This is after your performance is neither the time nor the place to go into that kind of a business.
Yeah.
So
It's the after party. Let's have a good time.
So let's
Why
put
he
this
gave
out
Steve a little
initially.
package.
Any of the players
Exactly.
here?
Let's party.
Does anyone here have a specific person they've been wanting to have a talk with? I know
Michelle.
True Def was wanting
Natalie.
to speak with Locke at one point.
Yeah.
And,
she's not.
Since she's not here to play it, it will be assumed that you've had a talk with her so that we have that covered for later. But if there's anyone here that was wanting to talk with one of the others, now is the time to let me know so we can make sure y'all can...
I know True Death and I wanted to speak to each other at some point.
Karina, because she's from the area of my past.
Right. And if I get a chance, I want to speak to Minta as well.
Yeah, Katarina?
Yeah, Katarina.
So
Katarina, yes.
let's find out what what everyone is doing. Yeah, Katarina, what are you doing after the performance? You're in the VIP. Are you mingling, standing, imperiously like the Ventru you are?
I think that if during the performance we were allowed still to mingle and it was not like the performance where everybody's sitting like in a theater, right? So I did that. And now that the performance is over, probably I found myself at a table where I scattered around a couple of documents and I brought with myself and I'm working on these documents.
Always efficient
working.
time for business. Yes, this was a performance. It was up on the VIP level, of course. To watch the performance, you stood along the whole balcony railing area, which worked well for that. But yeah, now that it was over, of course, there's not just booths, but there's booths with privacy screens that can be pulled to make your time in there private. Anyone, of course, on the VIP, if you brought any particular ghouls or servants with you, they would have been allowed up there, provided they are aware of, a proper ghoul that knows about kindred society. I'm sure your Katarina's helper is well versed in what kindred are, so she would be allowed to have her person.
I wouldn't need him. I don't like when he's hanging around during these events. He has his own place. I would find myself a seat. I will be working a little bit, but of course, if someone is like passing by or anything like that, like I would react to people by like raising my eyebrow, taking a look at them, maybe nodding if I know them, doing nothing if I don't know them.
And I know Lily would be circulating. I assume True Def would be as well, since he just did his performance. He's got to go and speak with everyone, essentially, so that they can all talk about how good it was.
A short, kind meet and greet at the merch table, signing autographs, being famous. And then we'll slip out and duck upstairs.
And then, Natalie, you're a Torador. We know you're circulating.
Oh, I was circulating, but I definitely, during the performance, was right next to the balcony with awe up and dancing.
Oh, yeah, same.
And what is Jack? How is Jack handling it?
Jack was at the balcony next to Natalie. He had all up and he was dancing. Where's Natalie?
All right, sure.
He was
And
on
Steve?
stage with all up.
What is Steve? How does Steve handle this? 'Cause Steve doesn't normally do a lot of big social events, because Steve is Steve.
No, he's sitting in his office, in the security office.
Wow, Steve is not on the VIP with everybody tonight. Watching the cameras, huh?
Interesting.
Yeah.
The camera on the catwalk.
Everywhere.
Yeah, we have cameras.
He has eyes on everything.
We have cameras everywhere.
Yep. Interesting. That's an interesting development to know.
It's probably not particularly safe to be in the middle of the crowd without awe up at this point.
Yeah.
Not with the mortals, no.
Pretty much.
Not this crowd.
Nah.
So I turn it over to the players.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So as I am seeing True come up, I, of course, nod to him approvingly. And I'm actually working my way over to Yekaterina because I see she's settled in to do some business. So I do have a little bit of business to discuss with her. Okay. So I basically knock on the little booth area.
And then at the end of your discussion, we will allow Natalie and Trudaf to have their little talk. And we will do that one next. And we'll work around that way amongst people so everyone can have their talk. I've been muted. Of course I am. Once you're done speaking with Natalie, we will have...
Not Natalie.
Or sorry, with Yekaterina. We'll have Natalie and Trudaf do their discussion because that we work it that way. So I will let Benta and you have your time.
So I nod in deference to you, and I say, Miss Baranova.
Miss Sanger, and when I see that you are coming in, I start gathering my documents and placing them in...
I intentionally am not looking at them. That's your business. Do you mind if I have a seat for a moment?
Of course. Actually, I also wanted to speak to you.
Oh, good.
Just ask a question.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and ask. And I've set myself down, make myself comfortable. So go ahead and ask your question, because I also have some business to discuss with you.
So my question is very simple. Tonight, I was hoping to meet Mr. Felix LaRue, and I definitely thought you will send him an invitation to this event, but where is he?
I absolutely sent an invitation, and he seems to be in hiding for some reason, because he has not been socializing at all, and he's been turning away visitors from what I hear.
And so... we know right now, True Def, if this comes up later, you do have a meeting actually scheduled with Felix within next week or two. The exact timing is not defined, but you are supposed to go meet with him to discuss some matters that you and him, some business you and him have, in case it comes up later.
So, I'm not sure what's going on with Mr. LaRue.
But you are suspecting that he's hiding and not he's simply busy, so you might have an idea what is happening with him.
I have some ideas, but I have no viable proof to make claims.
I see. Well, I think I will have to then use my other sources to reach out for him. So what was your business?
I actually would like to call up the Primogen to meet to discuss some urgent matters in the city, and I would like my club deemed Elysium for an evening.
Mm-hmm. All right.
The sooner the better.
Do you have already a planned date? Have you spoken to the other Primogen?
I have not spoken to the other Primogen at this time. Those that are here I'll be able to speak to tonight to try to set a date. But what I can do is, if I'm allowed to contact you, I can contact you once I firm up a date.
Absolutely. Though, are you planning on meeting only with the Primogen, and they are going to be the only ones who come to the meeting? Or
Yes, it is strictly a Primogen council meeting.
All right. Of course. So definitely inform me about the date.
Will do.
And we will see from there.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything
is there
else?
anything else I can help you with to that?
I don't think so. I probably will go and get some refreshments now that my workflow was a little bit disturbed.
Okay, well, I do apologize for disturbing your work, but thank you so much for making time for me.
Of course. Have a pleasant evening.
You too. And I excuse myself.
Step away. So now we can have Natalie and Trudef can speak.
When I see Trudef approaching, I extricate myself from Jack with like a kiss on his cheek, like the whole Toreador thing, and immediately beeline for True.
Okay.
He hasn't turned off.
I thought, neither is she.
There's a lot of awe flow. It's awesome up in there tonight.
Sorry, so what did you say when you came up to him?
Bonjour. I heard so much about you from Lily. I couldn't wait to meet you. Your
Ça
performance... Ça va bien. Ça va très bien. Your performance was something for the history books. Quite literally.
Well, you know, DC needed something nice going on right now.
Oh, I agree. It's... Arts scene is sadly lacking and getting smaller, which is kind of frustrating to me at the time, given that I've just returned from the hinterlands.
It is what it is. I mean, we went through it in Harlem. We'll go through it again.
It's true. Are you planning on spending much time in DC, or are you?
Well, depends on some meetings I have later on.
Well, it is very interesting. I can't say I'm not worried about the current prevalence of fire. I imagine that is of a worry to you as well.
Yeah, well, you know, the tower forgives, it doesn't forget.
Agreed, and I don't think you should forget. I just, I think we should be cautious, given that it seems to be happening more often.
Yeah, always. I mean, it's not as bad as LA.
Nothing is as bad as LA at the moment, but then also there are anarchs there, and
well, not all anarchs are bad.
No, they're not. But I prefer the Camarilla for very obvious reasons.
Yes, well, obviously. I mean, true culture comes there, but they're not all bad. I mean, it pays the bills.
True. I'm not here to rag on them. It's just a lot more structured here, which I find appealing. If again the fire problem was coming.
And excuse me, who were you again?
Oh, I'm Natalie Bertrand. Sorry, I should have introduced myself.
Do you slip him the business card?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
I'm obviously a Toreador. I don't know. Exactly.
A rose by any other name, right?
Exactly. But I just came back from Baltimore. I previously.
Why?
Well, I originally had problems with Vital, and now I still have problems with Vital. He's just in a different location.
Well, it could be
that
worse.
name puts a bummer. You can see.
Seriously.
Just not that name. Don't say. They'll start looking around.
Might want to mum's the word a little there.
Well,
I don't think he's really well liked in the city.
No, but he is crushing baronies in Baltimore now, and I would prefer not to be involved in it. But I was going to mention, because usually and traditionally, Ventru and Toreador tend to get along on such matters, we should be investing in bolt holes in the city for the various kindred we're interested in. And I think we should create small art venues to that aim. Oh,
How much?
I should mention, I am the owner, and now I slip him the business card of Attitude. I have a small boutique PR firm here, and she has a fair amount of money herself.
Yeah, you've heard of the PR firm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What level of investment are you looking for?
I didn't think anything too crazy at the beginning. Maybe a couple of small clubs with some extra enhancements to file away any kindred we have interest in at any particular point.
I'll have my people contact your people.
I would love it. We should have, a night in it sometime.
Yeah.
I should take you to one of my performances. They're quite entertaining.
Oh, yes.
Admittedly, I do ballet, but not quite the way you're expecting.
Now, Jack, when Natalie left, Tabitha actually come over and started talking with you, asking if you realized that Art has been riding Bjorn's motorcycle and has been wearing Bjorn's biker helmet here lately.
I was hoping that you wouldn't bring that up.
Who's that guy?
Jack? He's a bartender.
Oh, so not important then.
For purgatory.
Actually, True Def, given your fame, you actually recognize once she says the words bartender, you recognize him. He's not just a bartender. Mm-hmm. He's a very famous bartender in this area for his ability as not only his mixing skills, but his hands and the way he can work the bar. You just didn't know that man was a kindred. The one that everyone knows about as the bartender to have at your event or at your bar is a actual kindred, not just, a gifted mortal.
Mm-hmm.
And Tabitha does it. She don't know where he got it. She don't know how he found it or how long he's had it, but he's taken to riding Bjorn's bike with Bjorn's helmet.
Please don't tell me he has my bike too.
Are you missing your bike?
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to look since the whole thing went down with the coterie.
If your bike was kept with Bjorn's, he may have it too.
I don't think so. I think I kept it at my place. And more than likely, I still have my bike and jacket.
He's not wearing Bjorn's jacket, at least.
Yeah, thank goodness for that. I would confront him, but I got this feeling that I shouldn't.
I just was curious if you knew or you wondered or knew where he got it from, because I don't even know where Bjorn left it, but...
I don't either, but apparently he must have gave her the art. I don't know.
Yep. So what is now? Who wants to talk? Anyone else have any particular conversation? Because I've got some things I'm going to have with the story that's going on, but I want to make sure everyone gets a good chance to talk. Would anyone else they wish to talk with?
Yes, I need to run over and introduce myself to Yekaterina. It's good Toreador politics, and I actually have some questions.
Actually, True will go with her on that because he was still talking to her.
Well, given who you are, True, as a Ventru, you know Yekaterina's name. You've never personally met her, but you do know through Clan Ventru that she is a mover and shaker in the clan.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be like,
a name in the clan.
I see our new keeper of Elysium. I swear, I can't keep track of who all is in charge of the city, and I've only been here like a week.
It's not hard. Look for those on top. They're the ones in charge.
I mean, yes, but moving on from that. Because I actually want to check in with her.
Yes, it might go easier for you if I'm with you, yes.
That you're so sweet, and she just bats her eyelashes at you. All right.
He'll walk over with you.
Keeper.
No, so Katerina, you see True Def, of course, who you saw on stage approaching along with. You've never met
when
Natalie.
He's walking up to her, he will take his sunglasses off out of respect. In case she wants to meet him eye to eye.
There's a small dip of, respect from Natalie, she kissed the Nos's ring. We're not going to quibble about it here.
So when you...
I leave it to you guys.
So when you approach and you address me, I turn around and I glance at Natalie, but then I notice that True Death is with her. So first I focus on you, and I look at you and I say, Mr. True Death, marvelous performance.
Thank you. Hope I did our clan justice.
Absolutely. You even kept me away from my work. I was expecting less, so I brought some documents.
Well, you should always expect the best from Ventrue.
Absolutely.
Especially when surrounded by a beautiful garden.
Yes.
So, is there anything I can do to help you?
Well, perhaps, first of all, you could introduce me to your friend here.
This is Natalie. She's,
I'm new to the city, but I hear you're
returned.
Also, yes, I also hear you're new as well, comparatively.
Yes, I would say it was a week, if not less.
I understand. I am originally from Montreal, but my sire is from France. And so sometimes I yearn to hear stories from overseas. It reminds me of him.
That's amazing. My sire's from France.
Small world.
It's what happens when you're
I
there.
also hear congratulations are in order to you, Katarina, for your new promotion in the city.
Well, I thank you, but I don't think that there is a reason to congratulate me. The position I received is full of duties, and I will be even more busier than I expected.
Which you will perform excellently in true Ventrue style. I don't have the head for it, I'm sorry.
So I see you came in to flatter me with your words.
I flatter everyone with my words. It's fun. And besides, it's so much more pleasant than telling you what an asshole you are, don't you think?
If I wouldn't know, I would suggest that you should drink less, but apparently in this situation, it's not the drink's fault.
I was making a joke. I would never call anyone an asshole. It's simply not good taste.
Haha, that was really funny. Anything else?
No, I simply wanted to congratulate you because it is an honor to be part of the court, and I know it has been very unstable. And so actually, despite my flattery and my toreador ways, I am grateful that there is some stability somewhere to be found at this point.
Well, that's a great thought you had there. The court was definitely very unstable, and how unstable it has to be if the prince chooses a foreigner who has been in the city only for a week to be the keeper of Elysium. Didn't he have any other options?
I know, that worried me a little. I also am fairly new back to the city. I was in Baltimore before. But I just thought, well, with such a talented Ventrue, we might get a little more stability, and I trust I can leave that in your hands.
You know,
all the rumors I have heard, that has to be true.
Exactly.
Well, actually, when the prince offered me this position and I realized how struggling is this court, I had a conversation with my own sire and a couple of others from Europe, and they thought that this young little kingdom of kindred in DC definitely needs some assistance, wisdom we have, the thousands of years in the past. So I actually decided to stay longer than originally. So who knows, maybe we will do something here.
Excellent.
Seems to be a trend.
I know. I also should give you my business card as well. I am the owner of a small PR firm, should you ever need my services, and she hands you one.
Oh, thank you.
Almost as if somebody was psychic. You get a text, Yekaterina, on your phone. Do you check it right away, or do you wait until they've walked away?
I wait. So I instead turn towards True Death, and I will say to him, have you met Mr. LaRue recently?
I met him at the coronation, and I might, maybe, can neither confirm nor deny, have a private audience with him later.
I want to roll some sort of awareness of what they're thinking, just like watching them. What would you
Roll
have me
wits insight.
Got it. Thank you.
And that's opposed with wits composure?
No, that would be resolve subterfuge, or you can go resolve, or I'll let you go resolve composure, straight willpower without the humanity bonus.
All right, let me just,
Either one.
Let me pull up old True Death because I haven't looked at his stuff in a minute.
Do I need to roll as well?
You can if you wish.
I've got 5.
And that roll would be from stopping someone from reading my mind?
Well, not reading your mind, but she's trying to guess the ulterior underlying parts of the conversation.
I'm not going to roll.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Now,
because I don't see that what Yekaterina's saying, at least, has got any ulterior other than what she's saying. She's saying exactly what's come up.
Yeah.
5? Okay. Mm-hmm. So you got any underlying things?
Oh, he definitely has a meeting.
Totally has a meeting? Okay.
That's all I wanted to know, whether or not that was actually a thing. So, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing he's actually not great at is subterfuge. He's good at manipulation, but not subterfuge.
I'm terribly charming. Seriously, I have so much charisma. It's scary.
4 dots in that.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. No.
Anyways. I didn't notice, isn't Mr. and she'll say, isn't Mr. LaRue the Primogen? I'm sorry, I'm still getting to know who all is in charge of what here.
Yes, he is the Primogen of Clan Venture.
Interesting. Well, I'm sorry you haven't found him yet.
Oh no, I found him before. I just was expecting to meet him here tonight as well. But probably I will just have to arrange a meeting. He's currently might be really busy, right, True Death?
That's what I've heard. But, if you really need to meet with him, I could bring it up for the right price.
No, I think without a price, he will definitely want to meet me.
Just give him the offer.
Thank you. Well, if you will excuse me, I wanted to get some refreshments.
Oh, feel free. I believe I supplied them.
Mm-hmm. It was charming to meet you. Thank you for putting up with my antics.
And when they leave and you get a chance to check your phone, it's a very simple text. It just says, I am coming. A.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will really brightly smile like never before someone ever seen me smiling.
Yeah, it's funny because it came in.
Do I happen to catch that in a
glance? You can roll wits and awareness to see if you caught her smiling. But it's funny. It's almost like they were psychic because it was right when you were talking about some of your friends and connections and.
I got 6.
6. You saw her smile for some reason after you saw her. You didn't see her check her phone, but whatever she was doing, she had a smile.
Happy.
Steve, the oddity for you is you are up in the security room, and while you're watching the security room, now the performance has already happened, so it's people aren't arriving at the club at this point. But if a big limo has pulled up out front, and a single individual has gotten out of it with a box in their hand, you don't recognize the limo or the individual. Okay. But they've come with a box maybe about this long, about this wide, walking up to the door to the club.
Okay. Is Ian in the control room with me?
Ian is always in the control room with you because Lily doesn't let him work the floor because reasons. But, Thomas is still at the door downstairs.
Okay. I guess Ian would take the initiative there to say someone's at the door. And we should... I guess tell Lily. Is Lily wearing her headset during
her earpiece?
Always.
Ma'am, there's somebody here with. They say they're doing flowers for True Death.
Check the package.
You hear rustling. Yes, ma'am. It's actually it's odd. It's a box of black roses, but it's flowers.
Okay.
Do I let him in, or do you just want me to bring him up, or?
Does he have to personally deliver them?
He said he's supposed to deliver them. He's kind of weird to me. I'd suggest...
I'll come check it out.
Okay.
So I go down and check it out.
Okay, and Steve, from your point of view, you're looking. Something ain't right with the guy at the door from the cameras that you were watching.
Okay, how so?
You know, it kind of reminds you of that one guard you saw that time that shot you? With a glazed look over his face standing at the door?
Oh, okay.
Now, when you go down, the guy standing there, he's got no expression. He's completely flat. I'm to deliver flowers.
I can see that they get delivered.
That works.
Who sent you? Just so I can let him know who is a fan.
I don't know.
Wanted to roll insight on that.
Go ahead.
He probably doesn't know.
And Steve, you're listening in, of course, like you have been with everything from the security room.
Do I see Lily
7.
leave?
You saw Lily leave after she put her finger to the ear so she could really hear better with the earphone that she normally wears. 7? You're not reading anything off this guy. He is like completely flat.
Where did you come from?
I don't know.
What's your name?
Courier.
Courier. Okay. I tell Thomas, get the plate.
Okay.
Can I see your ID?
I don't have ID. Take the box, give it to True.
Okay, I'll take the box.
And it feels like a box of roses. It doesn't feel oddly heavy or anything else.
Okay.
You bring it up to him?
Yeah, I'll bring it up to him.
Okay, there is a card in it, True Def. It looks to be a box that holds about 3 or 4 dozen black long stem roses, and there's a card in it.
We'll check the card first.
The card says, perhaps you should schedule a performance in my city. And it's signed, Lord Vitel.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, jeez.
Mm-hmm. And he'll...
Are you still standing with me?
Pretty much.
I will definitely read the card over your shoulder.
Oh, of course you will.
Are they
Lily's standing there with
near
the
me?
box in her hand. Of course she saw it too.
Are they near me by any chance?
I mean, it's your scene. If you were I know Jack kind of, when Lily's about, tries to be near her when he can, just to keep an eye.
Because shit always happens
Because shit
around her.
happens. And you might want to get some more blackmail photos.
So I shall
Actually, while True's holding it, knowing where Steve is, he's going to just subtly angle it towards a camera.
Okay.
So Steve can see it.
Ooh.
So there you go. Because when Steve's not around, he likes to sit in his in the camera rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to read the card too, Steve.
Okay. Must be really good cameras we put in.
Oh, you've got full pan tilt zoom set up. Lily doesn't pay cheap.
Just enough where
Lily is a
like
rich bitch. I'm just saying.
It makes it look like he's letting Natalie read it, but it's just for the camera.
Was this the 4K cameras with optical zooms? Yeah, you got it covered, man.
Yeah.
Anything weird about it that I can notice, or?
No, but just looking at the roses, the black roses, you can feel something. I mean, you can feel them through the camera. They're on the camera themselves. They're there, but they're just kind of slightly out of focus.
Okay.
Got 7 on Sense the Unseen. I want to inspect the roses in the card.
They're roses. You can feel them slightly giving off an aura of. If you didn't know any better, you'd say death. Actually, an aura of the other side that you've experienced when near Vitel.
I want to roll premonition, actually.
Holy shit! Oh my god! Wait a minute. You can roll that. Why are you rolling that? You're Katarina. You notice there seems to be a gathering around this box that True Def has received. Are you curious, or are you just gonna?
I have to find my roll for that. I'm sorry.
They're fine.
Real quick question.
I'm curious what Katarina's going to do.
Katarina, did you give a card to True Def when he came up to you, or no?
I didn't.
Okay. I didn't know if you would have your number or not.
No, you have to earn that.
Alright, so what is going on? I walk up to
you probably dropped 3 CDs on your table. So
He wants you to listen to his mixtape.
yeah, so Leg, what's up with the roses?
Sorry.
sorry I couldn't hear you, Jack.
I was asking Lily what was up with the roses. Since Lily
They're a
was holding
gift
them.
for True, and it seems someone's wanting to poach my axe.
Who is that?
I take out my phone and I send a text to my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Poaching? Really?
Is it poaching when it's a national tour already?
He
I
travels.
passed
He can travel here too.
While I understand he could have been approached a different night. And I just turned
And
off the
wait a
phone.
minute. No, you get a reply comes immediately. He asks, does he like the gift?
Do you like the gift?
They pale in comparison to the 2 roses that were already here.
Hey, my job
And I
is
just
to be the
put, he's
flatterer.
flattered.
No,
And
Tell him. He gets, the boss says, tell him. He brought them from the other side just for him.
And he'll go put them out, he'll put them with his merch guy.
Mm-hmm.
I passed my rouse check and I have 3 successes.
3 successes for a premonition.
Mm-hmm.
3.
Mm-hmm.
Your vision clouds over a bit. And in the vision, you see a gathering. It's papers blowing in the wind. And in the distance, you see a city shrouded in darkness. And around the papers, you also see a darkness below them, but not encompassing them and not through them. And on one side, approaching from the west, is a light, a beacon of some kind. You can't tell what it is, but it's moving closer.
Okay.
And from the north, you also see fire approaching, off in the distance. And then your vision fades. And you are back to yourself.
How horrifying. She doesn't tell True what she saw because she didn't tell anybody she was doing it.
Anyone who wants to see if they notice you doing it can roll wits awareness, because there's a glazing over the eyes that happens when a Kindred does premonition.
before I roll for that, I asked True, who sent the flowers? I know you got a little pie attached to cards, so who sent it?
Three successes for wits awareness.
3?
Am I supposed to be resisting it?
No, that's not enough to have noticed her eyes glazed over in the dim light of the club.
Yeah.
Lily's not even
Especially now with sunglasses on.
Yeah.
He looks over and he goes, "First, True Death, nice to meet you."
Nice to meet you, too.
And he's like, "It's up to the hostess whether or not she wants to share the information. It was given in her club."
Oh, some competition is trying to poach Axe from my club.
I asked you who. You didn't tell me who it was. You just kind of let the question open.
Yeah, and I just said some competition's trying to poach Axe from my club.
You don't want to tell him, huh? Given why Jack left Baltimore.
On my wits and wellness.
What'd you get?
On checking.
5.
5?
5.
On wits awareness? When True Death held it up to the camera, you did get a little bit of a glimpse at it. You think you saw Vitel's name, maybe? That's why you probably were asking?
If it's who I think it is, he needs to keep his hands out of DC.
I don't know.
I walk away. This is not a conversation I want to have on a night that I'm partying.
I know, and
I just walk away.
And we'll talk later.
Actually,
I
True
find
will walk over to the
Raphael.
bar.
Okay.
And
Now, Yekaterina, you haven't seen Raphael before. I mean, you can guess generally. You heard descriptions of Wayland and his ghoul from your sources, and you're pretty sure this was the guy that you knew of as a ghoul, of course, standing there. He's still a little bit crispy, but not as bad as he was. His hair's come back.
yeah,
But you're pretty sure, Yekaterina, because I think you're the only one here who hasn't seen Raphael in this condition. And True Def, you have not. Though you have met Raphael at least once, because during at your various points you had stopped at the Black Magic at various times.
he
right?
is in an impeccable suit.
But you
Lily
can tell
had a rush job with his people do it.
he is definitely kindred now, and he's still a little bit toasty.
Yeah. Well, True's going to escort Natalie to the bar,
Okay.
and he's going to get her specific taste in blood.
Now, I assume since you were performing this night, you had the bar stocked with your
It has my taste too, but
with
he is
your
yeah.
connections.
yeah.
So the bar tonight is not kind drinks at the club. It is a mixture of kindred drinks.
There is also some kind for any ghouls, but
no ghouls have been brought.
yeah, but if any ghouls were here, there's a bar for
I
there's
have
selection.
one, but he is not in here with us.
Okay,
But
if any were brought here, they could drink too. But
So yes,
he'll
even you,
provide her with
Yekaterina, when you were looking for refreshments, there's refreshments at the bar. Kindred type refreshments.
so,
He hands her a dry blood martini.
she is very impressed, but also interested because she's not sure if it's you or Lily.
Lily and I work together sometimes.
yes, I do.
We have agreements.
And actually, it's just some friends of mine provide some services.
Oh, so you provide that service.
If the price is right.
Always. Trust me.
Or for a good friend.
Trust me. I was taught finance for my one.
Oh,
Yes.
honey. Sometimes money isn't the price.
No, obviously. But it does teach the basics of supply, demand, and barter.
Yeah. But yes, he hands her a dry blood martini.
She is.
What's awareness, Lily? I've already
I
said
will
nothing
drink it.
bad can happen, but I
Five.
Art's not on the catwalk anymore.
Fantastic. Where is he? I actually say,
You see him. You find when you don't see him, you look around. He seems to be approaching Yekaterina.
okay, well, he can do that. I'm so not getting involved. I'm a little pissed with our sheriff. So, yeah,
A little?
just a little. And, what do I always say about pissing off a rose? Yeah. So I have taken Raphael's arm. We are walking around the VIP area, and I am looking for Cone Rose.
Okay. Handle that in 1 second. I want to let Yekaterina, Art Morgan is approaching you. Now, you haven't talked to Art since the last time you saw Art. He was hippied out. The Art that's here tonight is in a suit with his hair pulled back into a nice, neat ponytail. Not a sign of tie-dye on him. And he seems to be perfectly controlled. And when he walks up to you, he bows, an actual low bow. Keeper.
Sheriff.
I was wondering if I could speak with you just briefly.
Absolutely.
It's about your duties as keeper and, of course, mine as sheriff. Will you be needing my assistance when it comes to enforcing the rules of Elysium and keeping the peace in Elysium? I do offer myself to assist you in that as you need, if you need muscle to enforce rules.
Out of character, I have a small question. Do I remember correctly that he was the keeper of Elysium
He
before?
was, briefly.
Okay, very perfect. Well, good that you asked. I actually wanted to meet you and speak to you about a couple of matters, and one of them is, you were in this position before. I was wondering if you could give me a couple of tips, perhaps let me know some personas I should keep my eye on more intensively when they visit Elysium. And, I would definitely want some help from you making sure that Elysium stays a very safe place. I like strict measures when it comes to that.
Well, we have the normal amount of rabble-rousing and troublemakers. There are anarch-leaning individuals in the city. Tabitha is one of them. She can be hot-headed. The bartender Jack, of course, that has returned to town, he was a known associate of Bjorn's, also a member of the local anarchs, though not quite as bad as Bjorn was. I would suggest to watch the Grigori brothers, or the Markov brothers. Grigory Markov and Ivan Markov, along with their sister Angelique Stravinsky. They are all known. Grigory is an anti-tribu, if you believe it, that the prince is allowed to remain in the city. Former Sabat Tremere allowed to be in the city. Ivan, of course, has no affiliations and is independent, which is still odd in a Camarilla city. Angelique, if, you believe everything, she was in love with a Karna-leaning Tremere. So that should tell you where her loyalties lie.
It definitely tells a lot, but what actually worries me that someone who was affiliated with Sabat is still in the city. How did that happen?
I do not know. I believe a lot of that is, Grigory, Ivan, Angelique are because of Victoria. I don't know why Tabitha's allowed to stay. I have noticed we have a prince that seems to be allowing the wrong sorts into the city. You should definitely keep an eye on them in Elysium to make sure that they're not going to break the rules, as happened originally.
Back in Europe, we say that it's often not the fault of the prince, but of his advisors, be it seneschal, sheriff, or keeper of Elysium, if something starts going wrong. So...
He takes no advisors. He doesn't listen to his seneschal. And he, of course, does not listen to me. He takes his own counsel. And it is his right, of course, holding praxis, to be the prince, to do as he wishes. But I can see a time where I may, in the future, have to instruct a scourge to do her scourge duties, to eliminate individuals that really should not be causing problems in a Camarilla city. And of course, that is the scourge's right, irrespective of the prince's wishes.
But am I correct to say that this prince, does he have any experience in the past ruling over other princedoms?
He ruled Providence. Providence, Rhode Island. I'm surprised you didn't hear of that. He ruled Providence for some time. Until his own Justicar removed him. A Nosferatu Justicar removed him for his excessively brutal ways. For example, when he blew up a building full of Intru to solidify his power, or eliminated a number of his enemies rather than, our kind always have played dangerous political games, but he resorts to fire, was his initial way. He was removed. And while it's not for me to decide why individuals in the tower gave him a second chance, the tower is what matters.
I agree with you here, absolutely, but I also would love to see that this city, where now I will reside as well, would be ruled by more wisdom, if I may say like that, but I guess I will leave that for my private conversation with the prince then. I will have to request a meeting.
Of course. Karina is here somewhere. I'm sure she can arrange one for you. I just wanted to make sure you did not need my assistance. And, of course,
yes,
to make sure that you understood certain events transpiring that I've taken notice of. Because I've been around a while, and though I'm just now feeling myself again, I've met you in the past. I was once in the company of a very good friend of yours that I will not mention the name here. And I've met you with him, though you do not remember me. I was always easier to overlook than my brother Xavier. So.
I might remember your brother. You know what? This is not the right time now to speak about all of our past. Would you be able to arrange a meeting one perhaps night when we could...
Of course, Keeper. I am the sheriff. I will, of course, assist you, and we can discuss matters of Elysium and the state of the city at your leisure.
Wonderful. So I will reach out for you, and we will see which time would be best for both of us.
Of course. And he goes back. I will return to my catwalk to watch. I just wanted to grab you while I could. And of course, Steve, you've heard this whole conversation because Steve is up there monitoring everything from the security closet.
Right. Now, when I saw the card that should have flashed up towards the camera, and I saw that it was Vitel, I told the guys to just keep an extra sharp eye out. If anything weird.
Anything weird would happen? Any shadows get darker?
Well, if we have any visitors spraying graffiti on the back of the club again, that sort of thing.
Okay, I didn't even think of the visitors on the club. That gives me a great, give me ideas. That's always great.
Don't you dare.
I won't. I said nothing negative happens tonight, but instead it's a sharing of info and a gathering of kindred.
Yeah.
I want to roll with awareness to see if I saw Art talk to Yakato.
Okay, go ahead. This is where everyone's making notes about who was talking to who and who was seeing who. And Karina, while they're having a talk with Art and Yekaterina, she comes over and says that, she knows you were supposed to go out girls' night tonight.
Oh, of course.
But,
well, that I told her she needed to be here.
Right. So you're going to go out. She said we'll go out tomorrow.
Okay. And like I said, I'll have someone escort us, just in case.
And this is also the time, Steve, where this is the same night you got a text from Ludlow about meeting up tomorrow night.
Right. Okay.
To have your discussion.
So I'm making my way towards Cone.
And for those that are wondering, of course, these are the events that happened on the memoriam we just played, is right after this. So that is the arrangements being made to set it up. You got 3? It's hard to miss Art. I'm going to be honest.
Yep. He's a presence.
Yeah, now he is.
I just want to know if I saw it.
You saw them talk briefly, but not... You only saw him as he finished his discussion and started walking away. So who else was people wanting to talk with anybody? I know Yekaterina just got some good info. You were doing your circulation with Raphael. You do find Cone. I was
looking for Cone.
Cone is there.
Okay. So
I think True needs to talk to Lily as well at some point.
I'll make my way around. I have to handle a little bit of business first. And I make sure I have Raphael on my arm as I'm approaching the Primogen that are here. And I tell Cone I would like to arrange a meeting of Primogen.
I will talk to Velois and we will
let me know a date. That way I can make it happen.
And Granger did not show up tonight.
You said everybody else was
Granger did not show up tonight because I knew what would happen if Granger shows up. And Granger, I think, knows what would happen if he shows up. He didn't exactly get a good welcome last time he was here during one of your performances because he planned to stab Steve with a piece of plate glass. He's pretty sure that's not going to go over well right now.
I still have no way to contact him.
No, but have you asked others if they have a way to contact him?
And you know what? While I'm here with Cone, I'll ask him.
Norton is here too tonight. He is one of the others. And if anyone has a way to contact Granger, Norton.
Yeah. Okay. So I nod to Cone. I say thank you. Please just let me know.
It will be in.
I actually hand him a card with my number. I have a card with a number for him to reach me. It's not my normal number, but it's a number.
It's your answering service number.
And I say you can just call that number and let them know when.
Okay. And you're gonna go and you're gonna try to get Granger's.
I'm gonna go over to Norton actually.
Okay. And Norton's not gonna give you Granger's number, but he will relay a message to him. He's not going to give you Granger's number. He's not, doing that.
Okay. I'll give him a message then. So I go over to Norton and I just I tell him, "Hello, Dr. Norton. How are you?"
There's like 8 CIA down there. Just keep
We're just going to act like everything's normal.
I'm just letting you know. I think they're onto me for taking the Hope Diamond. I'm not positive though.
I saw that recently.
Any eyeballs you?
Well, you're not the only one who makes deals, dear.
What do you want?
Just want you to pass a message to your child. I'm going to be calling a Permanent Council meeting soon.
I'll let him know. And then he turns and walks out.
Mm-hmm.
You see him leaving the building.
Mm-hmm.
At mentioning you saw where it was.
Mm-hmm. I just happened to see it recently.
Yeah, he's a little bit upset that you've been to the madam, apparently. Mm-hmm. So who else needed to talk with people? Let's get everyone to let everybody talk. I know True Death wants to talk to Natalie. Jack, what did you want to talk to?
I can talk to Natalie and then talk to Lily afterwards.
Yeah, True Death wanted to talk to Lily, so I'm actually going to.
So while you're going over to, let's let Jack talk to Natalie real quick, and then we'll do the other.
Okay, so Jack will walk over to Natalie and tap her shoulder. Hello. Last time we met, wasn't it in Baltimore a couple years ago?
It wasn't even a year ago. It was a week. That's the woman you recognize that come out of the alley to help the coterie.
Oh, so it was you.
Of course. I couldn't let another Toreador be in trouble in my town and not help out when it was so easy.
Of course. I'm the one who helped him get to Baltimore. I'm the one who got them to where they needed to get to. After that was not my fault at all. We were not expecting him to show up looking for us.
I'd never blame you. Although you are probably the reason I lost track of you after the party.
Because we kind of took care of what we came to do and then we left.
Which I admire. It's actually one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, though while the performance was going on was definitely not the moment it was too good to miss. But one of these days, if you're ever looking for a little extra work, I would love to have you come by my boutique, essentially, and talk about that.
Well, I am kind of working at Purgatory right now, and I'm sure that my boss, Locke, wouldn't mind me doing a little side work.
I would never take you away from her. I'm not here to impede the Hound in her work. Just, a couple of hours here and there. I would have some things for you to do.
Of course. I would be happy to come by your boutique and lend a hand for a couple hours.
I will write the address for him. I will not give him my phone number.
Okay. Give me the address to the actual office?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I take the address and I stick it in my wallet and I put it right back in my pocket.
Yes, because he's actually, when I say he's famous, he has, I believe it's 5 dots at fame as bartender.
Oh, I'm aware.
Yeah, he's that famous. He's as famous as a bartender as True Death is as a singer.
I know. I would love to have him around for various things, including bartending.
Yeah, you haven't heard the One Punch story.
No, I have not.
Okay, and when she comes over to you, True Death, she's got you had made an appearance at the Black Magic during some point when, off scene, of course, because it's the Black Magic and you were doing the rounds because he's a prominent business, famous enough. Watch the magic show there. And you remember Raphael from the door, though you didn't know he was a kindred. And this is definitely a kindred because no mortal would be burnt up like this.
Mm-hmm. Hope the performance met your expectations. You're muted.
And Raphael bows and goes, don't mind the rather...
I can't hear Lily.
Oh, she's muted.
I'm sorry, I'm muted. I apologize. And I said, of course, it was a fantastic show. Thank you so much. And let me introduce you to my ward, Raphael.
Ah, nice to meet you.
And Raphael bows. Don't mind my present. I think we call this parboiled this week appearance.
I mean, depending on which period of fashion you're in, you can make it work.
I tried to design an outfit that works, but there's no real subtle way to do burnt crispy fashion. There's no burnt crispy chic. There's just not. It's not possible.
Well, I mean,
yes, unfortunately, I'm sure you heard the news.
Yes, I believe I was helping you a little bit afterwards.
Mm-hmm. So,
but he was not. True Death was not there when Raphael appeared.
No.
Yes. So.
So, I have had another appointment in the city, so I'm going to be around for a little bit longer.
Oh, okay.
I believe someone you're looking for, if I'm hearing things correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. LaRue.
Mm-hmm.
Just letting you know I'm going to be probably visiting with him later this week.
Okay. Do let him know I'm calling an urgent Primogen Council meeting.
I'll see what I can drop with.
To discuss how it's getting a little hot in the city?
Yeah. That's come up a few times here in the past 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, no, I was just going to say, if there was anything that you needed to know or anything like that, I mean, there is always a price to be paid, but...
Of course.
The information,
we can always negotiate.
As long as it's not given in confidence and he doesn't pay more.
I got you. So
it's a Ventru that barters like a Nosferatu right
I love
there.
it. But yeah, so absolutely.
And performs like a Toreador.
Yeah,
I know,
it's fantastic. And I do thank you again for the watch. I get so many compliments on it.
That's, it's a small trinket of gratitude.
But yes, absolutely. If you get any good information that you want to pass along, just let me know. We can always negotiate the price.
Yeah.
But just if you wouldn't mind passing a message to him in your meeting to expect contact from me regarding a date for a meeting.
Yes. I was actually surprised when he reached out to me, but I think it's due to refreshment. I'm not sure, though. He was very vague in the communique.
Okay.
So, Steve, do you have anything you're wanting to do other than hanging the thing, or are you just cataloging everything said for later replay?
I'm just watching the club,
cataloging all the conversations you've caught up there? Because
I'm actually going to work my way up there because I'm looking up at the catwalk. I see Art back up there. Okay, because I'm going to work my way up to Art. But I'm going to tell Ruff, once I finish my conversation with True, I let Raphael just mingle or do what he wants to do. And I'll work my way.
We will handle the Art offline for this one, for that discussion, because
I do need to get Lily alone for half a second.
Okay, go ahead and do that. I want to cover the last of these because we're going to be ending this one soon.
Okay.
I will put my arm on True for a second because I don't know if you moved away with Lily. Did you say that you did?
No, we were kind of nearby.
Yeah.
She said, pardon me. I do actually have a quick question for my Primogen. Do you mind?
Oh, let's go talk.
And he'll slide down the bar towards Katarina and slide her a drink.
Okay. So
slide you a bloody drink of some kind, Katarina. I'm not sure what, you have your taste and he has his taste, so.
No, it's vodka based.
Right.
Everything's vodka based. It's good.
Natalie will turn to Lily and say, I'm sure you noticed the sheriff with our Keeper of Elysium.
Oh, absolutely.
Seems very concerned at the lack of order in the city currently. I She's not particularly impressed with my brand of charm, but I don't particularly care, as long as I know where she stands.
I don't think Yekaterina is particularly impressed with anyone's brand of charm since she's come to DC.
She doesn't seem to be impressed by much, to be honest, but that's okay.
And Quartermain has been deliberately avoiding her during this performance because of their last interaction was not pleasant.
Our charming performer as well also let it slip that he had a meeting with the person you seem to be looking for.
He did inform me of that.
Yes, no, I'm just telling you that she knows as well. And also, I looked at the roses, and I mean, I looked.
I did too.
No, not that kind of. That's not, I saw things you don't see.
Oh.
Right. And
did your instincts kick in?
Yes. And
that happens to me sometimes too.
There's a darkness on the city and a darkness beneath the city, and a light from the west and a fire from the north. And I have some idea of what the darkness means from our last meeting, but I do not know what. Well, the fire is guessable, which means there's papers floating in the wind, which I admit I've
seen that before, and I don't know what that means.
Me either. That's the bit that confuses me the most. But I don't think the city will be under fire's control if I see what I think I see.
Yeah, I don't know. And unfortunately, the one who might have been halfway decent at it is no longer with us. So
I just thought I'd mention
I appreciate that. I
don't see them often, and I don't try to see them often, but sometimes.
Same. I personally hate it when they happen.
But it felt important with
I appreciate that. Truly, Natalie, I appreciate that.
And that's all she wanted to say.
Yep. And this is where we're going to end this particular vignette. The night goes on, of course, all the way till dawn. All the kindred that came to this, which included most of the major people in the city, with the exception of one or two majors that refused to show up, the prince, of course, who didn't even send a representative to represent him, Felix, who did not as well. And, of course, it goes on, and everyone gets a chance to speak with everyone else. It's introducing, essentially, all the guests to the other major kindred of DC. To open up the future storylines, of course. And, of course, of all the kindred here, the only one that managed to real time listen to all the conversations going on is Steve, who stayed up in his little office, or in the little recording thing, cataloging and taking notes.
Oh, Lily will be listening later. Because everything's recorded here.
Everything is, except the conference room.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to end this. And I would like to thank, of course, myself, all the guests who showed up for this.
Yes, thank you guys. We really appreciate you playing with us.
This is a unique vignette. It will not be aired. If you're watching this not on our normal Wednesday vignette. This is the Friday vignette, because Wednesday we were playing with Tamshu in a special game that, if you didn't watch it live Wednesday, watch it on the vignette. Dead of night, we got murdered. We haven't even played it yet, but I can tell you now we're murdered.
We're going to get murdered.
But we will return to our normal vignette times of Wednesday.
The
following week. After this, after you watch this, you will be watching LA by Night, I'm sure, because they're on right after. They're on tonight. They're doing epilogues, and everyone loves epilogues. Yep. So thank you all for coming.
Thank you so much.
So just to give our normal outros, of course, check out the channels on the side. Check out all our friends' channels. There's one I have to add to it that's not in that list at the moment, and it's a certain individual, Minta, who's got her little Twitch channel set up now, so I'm going to have to add her to it so that she's on our friends list over on the side.
And come join us in McStabber's Lounge. We have a Discord server now that we use to chat about our streams, and you can come chat with us immediately following this about all the spoilers from tonight.
And the real purpose of this vignette was really to give an opportunity for all the guest characters. First of all, something we haven't had to do, which is have a bunch of guests on screen rather than it being just the normal core players, and to give a chance for the guest players' characters to have met the others. That way we can do different storylines going forward. And in the end, though, there were some revelations made tonight. I think of all the people here that played and all their characters. One individual, I think, had some of the biggest revelations, and she's the Keeper of Elysium.
Yep.
I think she got some pretty crazy revelations for her little bits, because she's returning as our special guest.
Yes, she is.
She will be playing with us on April 4th, and will be airing that episode on April 5th. So you will see her returning as Keeper.
Yeah.
Because of I think the events of this night is going to cause her to have to. She's got some things to deal with after this.
She needs some Tums.
She's going to need some Tums for sure for that one, because it is ulcer-inducing what's going on in this city. So thank you all for coming, and thank you for watching. Thank you all for playing.
Yes.
Any of the guests want to say anything? You can.
It's had a blast.
It's always fun with you guys.
And I said, and Urian thought we were doing something different than we were doing tonight, because I didn't explain it well enough to him, because you can blame me. I'm an idiot and I don't explain things very well. So, but he's good. He had a plan of what to do anyway, right, Urian? You always have a plan. Listen in, make notes.
Yes.
Because what he heard live, someone else also hears live.
No.
About to have to boot Steve out of the freaking observation room.
Because what he hears live, his mistress hears also.
Yeah, well, see, True didn't make that wits awareness roll, so he doesn't know.
I know, right?
So, good night.
Good night.